During the beginning of the year, we hear a lot of talk about vision boards. Don't get me wrong, I've made my fair share of vision boards, but they did not work for me the way they worked for other people. If you've tried vision boards time after time and did not get the results that you wanted, this video is for you. Hi, I'm Keisha Golder from KeishaGolder.com. I'm going to share with you 3 techniques that you can begin using at this very moment to visualize and create your desired life. But before we jump into those techniques, let's get a refresher on what visualization is. Visualization is the process of creating images in your mind of things that you want to achieve. When you create those images in your mind, you sometimes connect emotion to them, sometimes you do not. I prefer to connect emotion. That way I am aware of the feelings that I will experience once my desired goals are achieved. And there are several different ways to do visualization. Most people know the vision boards, but vision boards are definitely not the only way. And there are 2 types of simulations that occur when we do visualization techniques. They are either outcome or process. Outcome is simply that you visualize the actual outcome that you want to have at the end of doing whatever it is that you're doing. Process is you visualize each step of the process and anything that you may encounter in each step of the process to get to your desired goal. This is important to remember because visualizing, especially during the process simulation, you need to be aware, you need to visualize each and every challenge so that when they arise, you're not thrown off guard. You're prepared because, hey, it's a possibility that this can happen, and this is how I'm going to handle it. Visualization is something that we do naturally in life. Think about it. How many times have you just been sitting at your desk or in the bed and you start daydreaming about something? That's visualization. There isn't a desired outcome or anything applied to it, but your mind creates images of something. So it's natural to us, but we're going to talk about being intentional with our visualizations. So the first type of visualization that I want to talk about is the picture and describe. This is where you are creating the images in your head, and while you are creating the images, you are describing aloud to yourself, your coach, your friends, everything that you see. Be mindful that when you are describing, to use all of your senses, because the more in touch that you can get with your senses, the likelihood of you connecting with this visual is greater. So I'm going to give you an example. Say you're driving down the street and you have a thought, I should cook steak tonight. But as soon as you had the thought that you should cook steak tonight, you decide, no, it's too much work into cooking a steak and too much, I don't have the things at home that I need. I have to go to the grocery store, this, that, and the other. So as soon as that thought comes, it disappears because we haven't put any energy in it. We haven't taken the time to actually visualize what that steak dinner is going to look like. But in the same breath, you have the thought that you want a steak dinner. Then you start thinking about how that steak dinner is going to taste, all of the side items that you're going to have with the dinner, the beverage or the wine that you're going to choose to have this steak dinner, how you're going to feel after you eat it, the joy you're going to have either getting dressed up and going to your favorite steakhouse or being at home with your spouse or partner. and cooking the steak dinner. The conversation you'll have over your steak dinner, your mouth begins to water. And now your brain is saying, I have to have this steak dinner. And this is what I'm going to do to get this steak dinner. So then you start to go through the process visualization. I can call and make reservations at my steakhouse that I like to go to and make the reservations for about 7 because I'm on my way home now, and I can shower, change, dress, and make it there. Or on my way home, I'll stop at the grocery store and get everything that I need and go home, shower, change, put on some relaxing clothes, some music, open a bottle of wine, and cook dinner. And when you get the steak dinner, you have satisfied that vision and you have received your desire. Now, I know it's a steak dinner. It's not major, but as easy as it is to picture and describe and achieve that desire for a steak dinner, the same method can be used for changing your life, creating the career you want, getting the home that you want, getting the spouse that you want. Anything you can imagine can be achieved through any technique of visualization. You also need to remember, you have to be as detailed as possible. Don't just say, oh, I want a steak dinner. I'm going to have a steak dinner and I'm going to put it on my white and gold dishes. We're going to use the flute wine glasses. We are going to have a 1920s white wine, red wine. I don't know. Get as descriptive as possible so that you are involving all of your senses, so that with the involvement of the senses, your emotions become connected to this visualization. So when you get it, you're going to bring up those same emotions that you connected while you were visualizing when you actually get your desire. The second type of visualization technique is emotional intensity. So emotions, some of us like to push them down. Some of us like to ignore them. Some of us are told that we are too emotional. But emotions are good because that means we feel things deeply. So when you have your desired outcome, your desired dream, whatever it is, your thoughts often come before your emotions. So when you start to think about something, make sure that you're thinking about it in a way, like I said, connect the emotions so that you feel it deep enough. And you achieve, when you are able to feel it deep enough, you achieve the level of belief you need associated with that desire to actually achieve it. So when we think about something as either true or untrue, we don't get upset about that thing. No matter who says what to us, who does what, we don't get upset about it. When you see people be talked about and they don't get upset, it's because they know that it's either true or untrue, and they've taken the time to own that. And this is the same thing. When you know that something's true, there's no emotions attached to it because it's just what it is. But the more you believe something to be, the more emotional impact it has on you. So here's the thing. Have you ever been watching a horror movie? Jason, Freddy Krueger, any of them is actually called Nightmare on Elm Street, but any of those movies. And you know that you're watching a movie. You're cognizant that you're watching a movie. It's make-believe. It's not true. We know that. But in the moment that we are watching the movie and something is about to happen, there is music playing in that movie that can begin to evoke emotions from us because of the intensity of that music and the emotion that music is connected to. So regardless of how many times we may have seen a movie, we know what's going to happen. We've already said, oh, they're going to get killed, this, that, and the other. Once that music gets playing, and so you have the images on the screen, the music coming from the screen, and that music is your or whatever. I'm not good at that, but that music comes, you hear it, and now you're like, run, 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 don't look back, leave everybody. You're yelling at the screen. That's because your emotions have intensified. Why do you think athletes and people who are running marathons listen to a particular type of music when they are training? Because it intensifies their emotion. And when those emotions are intensified, them achieving their desired outcome is intensified. They'll go to any means necessary to achieve their outcome. So that's the emotional intensity type of visualization technique. So it is the picture and describe, but you're adding emotional intensity by adding music and becoming aware that your thoughts come before your emotions. And you add the music to help bring those emotions in. The last type of visualization technique is exposure. Now, there are some things in life that we want and we desire, but we have not been exposed to it, or we don't have enough knowledge about it. So, in order for us to use this visualization technique, we need to become clearer and expose ourselves to these things in order for us to visualize them. Because if you have no knowledge of it, it's hard for you to create the images in your head. So I could say that I desire to live in Alaska. I've never been to Alaska. I don't know what daily life is like in Alaska. So I have nothing to connect mentally to that desire of living in Alaska. So here's what I need to do now. I need to take some time to research, to gain knowledge, to develop an idea of what day-to-day life is like in Alaska, so that I can create the visual in my head. And yes, it may seem like it's extra work, but with anything, if you don't know, you have to train your brain. Just you go get a new job. You've never done this job before in the way that they expect you to do the job, so they train you to do the job. This is the same thing. You have to train your brain to get the knowledge and the images so that when you want to visualize your desired outcome, you're able to do. These are just 3 of the techniques that are out there so that you can start using today to visualize your desired life. I look forward to talking to you guys soon. And remember, if no one's told you today, I love you.